Okay, hello everyone. So today we are starting some user interviews for my portfolio project. So I'm glad to have here Leon. Okay, he was working as a recruiter, and he is the first one that's joining our session. So thank you so much, Leon, for your time. And in addition, can you introduce yourself first, please?
Sure. Thanks for the invite, Rafael. So my name is Leon. I am at the moment just did a career transition, and I'm working with employer branding. But the for the past 3 years, I have worked as in recruitment teams, which two as a recruiter, 2.5 as a recruiter for um, two big tech companies here in Ireland. So one is LinkedIn, and the other one is HubSpot. And glad to be here.
Okay, thank you so much. So basically, Leon, let me explain you what's going on now. So I'm recreating my portfolio, so I'm redesigning it, but I want it to be a UX design case. Okay, so I'm explaining step by step all the process till the final product. Okay, so I have here some questions. Okay, for you.
Mhm.
First, from your point of view, what we want to see when you access designer portfolio. Okay, and those questions doesn't have any right or wrong. Okay, I just want to hear your opinion, so feel free to say whatever you want.
Okay.
Okay, and please, if the question is not clear, ask me if you didn't understand it correctly. But can we start?
Let's
And I
go.
hope you don't mind. Sometimes I will not looking at the screen because I'm taking some notes as well. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So the first question, from a recruiter point of view, do designers need to have an online portfolio or just a PDF or PowerPoint is enough?
I would say it won't hurt having a online portfolio, but a PDF will probably be enough, and especially if it's if it's of easy access, because usually recruiters are trying and running against the clock. So the easier it is to access the information for the recruiter, probably the better it's gonna be for them. So if I receive an application with the PDF attached, and I don't have to go into a website, that's probably less clicks, less attrition, and it will help me make my job faster. Because if I have 10, 20, 50, 100 applications, and let's say half of them have uh, online portfolio, and I have to go on each of them, that will be time consuming. Where if I have an attachment, it will probably be faster. It won't hurt have an online portfolio, but specifically for the recruiter, I'll say the PDF.
Okay, and I think it's also good because you can download it and you can take a look again when you have time. Instead of thinking, oh, what's the link or what's the website? I should go to our email again. And then maybe you just create a folder on your desktop and then you can access it over it again. So yeah, that makes total sense. Okay, but now talking about online portfolio. Okay,
Hmm.
do you mind if this portfolio is created in some like platforms like WordPress or Wix or any other that we have in the marketing, or do you prefer or do you think it's better from a recruiter point of view to the designer to create it from scratch?
That's a good question. So, just one thing I think is important to clarify: that recruiters, they are not, even when they hire for a specific area of business, and they are looking for a certain specialty like UX designer, they wouldn't be, in general, they wouldn't be designer themselves, and they don't have the technical expertise to assess what is good, what is not. Obviously, they develop an understanding with time, but who really cares about that type of information and how it's stored and how it's created is the hiring team and the hiring manager. So the recruiter will just do a quick assessment to check experience, motivations. Um, if they have a little bit of more expertise, they might even check the portfolio and go to the website and all that. But usually for UX designers, I see the recruitment process having a technical stage and a technical interview where the candidate will speak to people that have more expertise on that matter. So for the recruiter per se, the conversation is usually really light and it's just an assessment to check boxes. And then the recruiter will pass the designer and the UX designer to the hiring team. With the hiring team, having an online portfolio can be important. And depending on what they're expecting from the client, building from scratch or using a platform could make the difference as well. But only the hiring team and only the job description um, would be able to give that information out.
Okay, that's great. Thanks so much. So, when you're seeking a designer to hire, what do you look first, the CV or the portfolio itself?
CV, CV probably. Yeah.
So, basically, when you are thinking on the website structure, do you think that the CV should be highlighted, not the portfolio? So, the portfolio should be a second part.
Well, if I'm going to the website as a recruiter, I probably because you have to put your application forward. So today, the most common way to put applications through for a job is to send your CV in, and you can
Yeah.
send your portfolio attached. So, but if I'm going onto the website, it's because you send your application through as a UX designer, and then I already saw the CV, and then I'm clicking on the online portfolio that you have highlighted on your CV. Um, but if I'm looking for a UX designer, and I'm navigating through, let's say, LinkedIn, um, I'll probably look through the LinkedIn first as well before going on to anything online. Because the faster we can solve the problem, which for the recruiter is can that individual be a good candidate or not?
Okay.
Is he a good potential or not? The better for the recruiter. So if I can answer that question, going one page of CV, one page of your LinkedIn profile, it is easier. That's what I would say. So the more tasks you add to the recruiter day to day, let's call it that way, probably the most it's going to become a little bit more challenging for the recruiter to assess. And there are so the volume of applications is so high for certain roles that you have to have the mentality of trying to solve the problem for the recruiter as fast as possible. One page, the less amount of clicks possible.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks so much. So, talking about the CV on the website,
Mm,
what should come first, the professional experience or the education background?
professional experience.
Professional experience, yeah. Perfect. And how about the details? I mean, like phone, email, address, and etc. It should be highlighted, or it's better to be in the bottom of the website as a standard. Like if you browse on the web, normally those kind of details are in the bottom, like so in the footer. What do you think? From a designer, from a recruiter point of view, you're looking at a designer portfolio, so this kind of information should be highlighted in the top for making to make your life easier, or you don't mind to scroll down and find it.
I think I would like to see that mention pinned. So wherever I am in the page, I always have the option, and wherever I am on the online portfolio, and whenever I make the decision that they are a good candidate, I have the option to contact them or to save their contact details. So I wouldn't have to scroll down or up. It's always there for me to see. At the moment that I make a decision, I just click and go.
Okay, thanks so much. So the next question is: if the designer is living abroad, do you think this website should be in more than one language? Like from my point, from myself, Portuguese and English.
Well,
Do you think it's
it
worth?
depends where you wanna work as a professional. If it's exclusively to get a job, depends if you only wanna focus on the English speaking market. probably only in English. But if you wanna do both, and it doesn't matter to you if you get a job back home or if you work with your local market or if you work with your foreign markets, probably both languages. As a recruiter, I probably would like to see the browser identifying what is my main language or my default language and show me that straight away.
Okay.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So, would you hire or refer someone as a professional who has a design style that does not match your personal taste? Like,
As a recruiter, yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, do you prefer a website with few but good projects or lots of projects, like in a chronological order? I mean, like, for example, if my best project was done 2 years ago, okay, so it should be highlighted, or I need to show up the last one, like the one that I did last week, for example.
I think it's important to show that you are still working and developing as a professional. Um, so that's an interesting one. I would say a mix. If you have hundreds of projects, probably a mix in between your. Because here's the thing: if when you're building your TV or when you have a file or when you have your website, you are maybe you have an idea of the type of interaction that the recruiter will have with your website. Maybe you don't. So you want to make sure that wherever the recruiter goes onto your website, it will be an opportunity for you to showcase your best work. And I think that's the mentality that you have to build. So not a lot of it, but make sure that at least 90% is your best work, and then and then maybe 10% showing your current work and why you've been doing, for lately, just to show that you are still active professional. Because if you only have things from 2 years ago, that might create a question mark on the recruiter. Well, is he still working as such, or where is his more current work?
So, and also from your point of view, if, for example, in my case, I worked 10 years in small companies, okay, familiar companies, and now
Mm.
from 2019 to now, so 2 years, I'm working big corporations. So,
Mm.
do you think like showing up a portfolio with, even if it's a small job, with the logo of this big corporation, it's stronger than like a good project developed for a familiar company that nobody knows?
So depends for the recruiter. Um, the big corporation one could, if the recruiter doesn't have expertise or enough expertise, the the one attached to a big corporation could be more impactful just because of the brand recognition. Um, but if you're talking about the hiring team, the hiring manager, someone that understands that matter a little better, probably the better project and the project with more depth would make the difference. So yeah, I probably would advise to make a mix of the two. You want to pass through the gates, and the other want to show your real quality.
Okay, thanks so much. So, just one more question. In your point of view, what's the best website structure? Just one page, but you need to scroll a lot, okay? Or multiple pages and a menu on the top?
Good question. I think I would go with. That's a good question. I don't think I really mind as long as the depends on the internet connection. If the internet
That makes
connection is
sense.
bad, I'll probably like to scroll it down rather than go from page to page. But if it's too, it depends on the length of the page as well. If it's too long, um, so long that I could lose myself in it, and if I want to go back to an information and read it again, I'll have to kind of like fish for it. It's all about making things simple. Um, when you're thinking about recruiters looking through your work and through your website. So it's all about making things simple. Even if you have multiple pages, you don't want to have a lot of them. And again, I go back to solve the problem for the recruiter as fast as you can in the most efficient way that will require the least amount of clicks and interactions with website portfolio, whatever it is. If you work so much that you need to have a couple of pages, that's fine. But the more pages, the more friction, the more likely they might get active, the more likely they will jump to a different profile and different application.
Okay, that's great. So the final question is like, do you have anything to add? Do you have any questions, any doubts, anything you want to add regarding the other questions? So
No, I don't. No, 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 no. I don't think so. I think I reiterated, but make the life of the recruiter easy.
okay,
Give them the answer straight away, and that's probably half of the battle.
okay, that's perfect. So that was all the questions, Leon. So
This
I
is it.
asked you ten different questions. Again, something more general, and then something focused on your role as a recruiter. So yeah, if you don't have any questions or anything to add, thanks so much for joining. Okay,
No worries. Thank
um,
you. Best of luck with the project.
thank you so much. So I will stop recording now. Okay,
All right.
and